Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com. How to make your own do-it-yourself sea turtle shaped picture frame. Now these hand-carved wood picture frames can be made in a variety of different shapes and sizes. This particular one is of a sea turtle. I did another video showing how you could make a basic tropical fish. The turtle is just a little bit more complicated just in order to make the texture for the fins. But otherwise it's still a very easy, very simple project. It starts out with a piece of 1x pine, and what I mean by that is depending on the size of the turtle, you could use a 1x6 or a 1x8 or a 1x10, etc. These can be made as small self-standing frames or larger wall-mounted frames. We're going to make a wall-mounted frame. This is, I believe, a 1x10 piece of pine that I used, and I just sketched the basic shape of the turtle using a marker, drilled a couple of holes, and then I cut out the inside space where the picture is going to show through with a jigsaw. I do this first before I cut out the shape of the turtle because I also want to be able to clamp that wood down to my work table and router out a groove on the back surface of that same pine. This groove is where the plexiglass is going to fit into, and also the cardboard that holds the picture in place. And the groove does not have to be very wide, a 1/4-inch groove around the whole size of the opening where the picture is going to show. You have to be a little bit careful when you're drawing these things up. Don't make it too big, otherwise it's hard to get a photograph that large. I'm just using images that were printed from my computer, so I want the opening to be less than a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. Anyway, after the opening is cut and routed, you can finish cutting out the outer shape of the sea turtle just with a jigsaw. This entire process does not take very long at all. And then the next step is going to be using a disc grinder with a flap sanding wheel, and I'm going to just kind of make each one of the fins a little bit thinner. What I'm really doing is highlighting that the shell is separated from the fins, or that the shell is going to be higher than the fins. And I'm going to also use that disc grinder to start to round off the edges of those fins to give it the look of a turtle. After it's all sanded smooth, I'm going to go to one of my favorite little tools, which is just a dremel grinder. And this just has an oval bit in it, and I'm going to make these little plunge cuts. And this is what's going to make the texture on the sea turtle's fins. This, looks like it takes a long time, but it really doesn't. It goes pretty fast. Once you start making these little grooves, maybe it takes 5 minutes or so per fin. But the end result is substantially better than not creating this texture. It just looks substantially better with these little scalloped grooves in each one of the fins. Then I'm going to change the tool on the Dremel. This is just a cutoff wheel that I'm using, and I'm going to use this to highlight any lines on the frame. This is just highlighting the mouth of the turtle, and I can also use it to distinguish the break between the shell and the fins and the shell and the head. For the head, the texture on the head, I'm just using a round Dremel tool and just making small plunge cuts. So for the fins I kind of used an oval, and for the head I just used a round, just to make a little bit of a difference. If you only had one, you could use the same on both. And with that same cutoff wheel, I'm going to add some additional lines onto the shell just to add a little bit more detail onto the little bit of the shell that remains. And that's really the hard part. I mean, basically the whole turtle is carved out. It's got all the texture. It's got the groove for the plexiglass, etc. The next step is either to paint or stain it. I'm choosing to stain this one a dark stain, but light stain would work, or you could choose to paint this. Then I turn the frame upside down, and using a marker, I mark right along the edge of the routed groove on a piece of thin plexiglass. So the 16th inch plexiglass is fine. I'm going to use that same Dremel tool to cut away all of that marker, and that way I know that that piece of plexiglass is going to fit within the size of the opening. And cutting this plexiglass with that Dremel tool, very quick, very easy. Make sure you wear eye protection. And I will post a link to a video on cutting plexiglass as well. And behind the plexiglass you'll put the picture and then also a piece of cardboard that you'll cut out the same size as the plexiglass. And that's basically it. A very unique sea turtle shaped hand-carved wood picture frame. This one is a self-standing smaller version of the same. And this is the one that we were working on in the video, which is a larger sea turtle for a wall hanging display. I hope you liked the video. Please check us out on the web at DIYEasyCrafts.com. Be sure to check out our other how-to videos. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel.